Done part one of how to use Adobe's camera, the Adobe Animate Camera. You know how to zoom in and out, you know how to rotate. Let's look at how you're going to use this camera layer in animation to shoot scenes. Now there's a couple ways to do that. Right now you're just on one. Let's go to about 90, go to frame 90, click on the camera layer, for instance, that frame, hold down shift, click on the other layer that has the rectangle on it. So both are selected, and you're going to extend the exposure. An easy way to do that is to use your function buttons on your keyboards in the classroom. In the far bottom left corner of your keyboard, you see a globe looking picture. Hold that down, and then at the very top of your keyboard, above the numbers, you'll see F1, F2, F3. You're going to click on F5. So you're holding the bottom left key that looks like a globe on your keyboard, and then press F5, and you will extend the exposure to all those frames. So now when we move our playhead, it's on all of those frames. What we want to do is on the camera layer, you're going to make sure that there is a keyframe. And there's usually a keyframe on the first layer. I actually just added one on the second layer. So what you want to do is go to a different position. So let's go to frame 30 on the camera layer. And you're going to create another keyframe here. And on that keyframe, let's go ahead and just rotate. The last thing you were on was rotate, so we're going to rotate it a little bit just like that. And then, so you have your keyframe on frame 1 and 30. Click a little bit to the left of that, and then we're going to do the create a classic tween. Click on that button right there, and then you'll notice when you go to the very beginning here and we press play, that the camera will move and rotate. So I haven't rotated the rectangle itself. There's no keyframes on that bottom layer, and I'm going to leave it that way. So I've rotated. Now the next thing we're going to do is go to frame 60. Click on that frame, add a keyframe, and we're going to change this slider here back to the zoom function, which is the one just to the left of the slider. And let's zoom in like that, and then click a little bit to the left of your keyframe, somewhere between frame 30 and frame 60. You're going to create another classic tween. So I'll go back to the very, very beginning. A nice quick way to do that, by the way, is to change this number right here. It says I'm on frame 57. I click 1, boom, and then I click play. It rotates, and then it zooms in. So those are two ways now that we are using the camera. The third way here is to pan. And we could go up and down. It's called a pedestal, actually, and we could go left and right. This is more of a what do you call this? A track. But we'll get into the details of what these are called. We're just going to move left or right is the big thing you need to know. So on 90, we're going to add another keyframe, and then all you need to do is move your cursor up onto the stage and then click and drag it. Now notice when I click and drag to the right, the rectangle's moving to the left, and that's because the camera's moving to the right. If I want the rectangle to move off to the right of the screen here, I'm going to move the camera to the left. So I'm going to make that actually fully disappear right there. And then I'm going to click again in between the last two keyframes, between 60 and 90, and I will add another classic tween, and I'm going to go back to frame 1, and I'll play my entire video. It's the rotate, it's the zoom, and it's the pan, or technically a track to the left. Okay, sorry, truck, not track, truck. Okay, move on to the assignment. That's the next thing that we're going to take a look at here.